the other person he's rereading deeply, he's getting the term metaxu from, is Plato. And Plato and the between, that we are between. Our humanity is to home ourselves, identify ourselves with the tonos, logos of finite transcendence, because that is what, that holding that between, right, is what most appropriately humanizes us and helps us to cultivate wisdom. And that's what Hadot, that's the other person he's picking up on.
Yes.
Desmond is picking up on Hadot as philosophy, as philosophia, as spiritual exercise.
Yeah, totally. In his language, his companions, right? Like,
yeah.
Way that like ultimacy, right, is constantly a companion, right? It's of you, right? It's this otherness. Hegel talked about thinking itself, right? Whereas Desmond's saying, no, it's like thinking to meet what is other than itself is to think, right? In some sense.
Dialectic is I encounter the other, but it ultimately resolves back into the system. Whereas the dialogical is no system, right, exists in a self-sufficient fashion. It is always being called beyond itself into the space of self-transcendence that is not located in the system. To use Nishitani's words, it's the basho of the system. It is the place within which the system unfolds and grounds it and governs it. And he calls the last stage the metaxological, but it's what you and I have been calling the dialogical, as opposed to the merely dialectical for a long time. And that's that verticality and the vertical metaphor is used by Desmond and especially by Ben Simpson. That's missing in Hegel, to my mind. There is some discussion of the sacred, but the sacred is always like under the authority of the process of dialectical, the system of dialectical self-mediation.
Yes.
And for Desmond, no, that is to make theology totally subservient to philosophy. Yeah. And what they have to have is a relationship of reciprocal reconstruction.
Yes.
We have to be in between philosophy and theology. I would also say put science in there in a different way, but we can leave that for down the road a bit. But that's what I see in Desmond and his critique. And it's like, because if you get the dialectical, you do ultimately get into a version of idealism in which the system of intelligibility is self-sufficient and self-contained. And we now know, Gödel and Einstein, etc., my work on relevance realization, such a thing is actually not possible, right? It's not possible.
Yeah, totally.